Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And we're going to look at the numerology and Kabbalah of January 2021. Yay! So let's start that. Let's take a look and see what's coming up for us. All right, so here we are. This says the astrology and Kabbalah of January 2021. I'm going to do the numerology and Kabbalah first, and I'm going to do the astrology in a separate video. And so I was inspired by this picture. I think this is actually upstate New York, around Utica, I believe. It is just such a lovely picture, and it really sort of embodies the energy for me of January. There's a coolness to this. There's a vastness up here in the Northern Hemisphere, especially in the areas where we do have seasons. This is a season of barren trees and frozen ground, and often things snow covered or ice covered. And there's a sense of almost like something, the earth has gone to sleep. The earth has gone to sleep. And it requires us to really, we have more time, there's more darkness on this side of the world. And so it's much more of an introspective time. And I felt like this picture was very, very indicative of that energy. So if we look at the numerology of January 2021, we look at the monthly vibration, which is a 1, the universal year vibration, which is a 5. 2020 was a 4, we're in a 5 now. And then the addition of those two vibrations give us the vibration of January of 2021. So that is a 6. So the 1 monthly vibration, it says 1 symbolizes a point of awareness, the genesis, the first spark of energy emerging from the original source. 1 is the first energy that has chosen to seek experience and establish an identity. 1 stands alone and is independent and original. And so January, as the first month of the year, always has that energy, right? That's why we do all these, what are those called? Resolutions, New Year's resolutions. For some reason, I don't think we need New Year's resolutions after 2020. I think instead of saying it and maybe sticking to it for a week, we've had almost a whole year about thinking about how we were going to change and how we were going to move forward differently once 2020 was over. The 5, the universal year, right? 5, 2021 is 5. 5 symbolizes curiosity, freedom, and change. 5 represents the 5 races, the 5 senses of humanity, and it is a pivotal point between 1 and 9. It represents the Star of Bethlehem, which was the spiritual light for mankind. 5 represents the vitality and energy of life, which is in every cell. And so with the 1 being an emergence and the 5 of the universal year being about change and vitality and energy, we know that January is going to be it's really going to be a new beginning. The energy is really like coming in strong with this. And then when we add the 2 vibrations together, we get the 6 vibration. It says 6 symbolizes responsibility and service that needs to be done with love and protection. A desire to bring harmony, peace, justice, and truth into all experiences of life. The symbol of the 6, the symbol for the 6 is the 6-pointed star. the coming together of the physical and the spiritual in balance. And so that is a vibration, the vibration of responsibility, the vibration of community service, really, 6, that also becomes a theme of this new year, especially January. So if we look at the tarot cards associated with these vibrations, the one vibration, right, January, the first month, and the one card in the tarot is the Magician. It says, know, will, dare, and keep silent. You possess and wield the tools of magical change. You are a visionary. Trust the lessons of your own experience and insight. I think that's very, very important. You embody force and power, operate through focused action. The Magician has on his altar the 4 symbols of the 4 elements. And he has one hand up and one hand down, symbolizing as above, so below. He has above his head the infinity symbol, which reminds us that what goes around comes around. It also reminds us that the best place to be is in the center of things and have an awareness of the extremes, but do not get caught up in the extremes. The numerology of January 2021 is the 5, and this is the Heraphon. The Heraphon. This is connecting with your higher self. Listen for the messages surfacing within. Become a student and teacher. Let your conscience be your guide. Very important. It seems like we've been going through many months and even years where people were not allowing their conscience to be their guide, but their greed, perhaps, or their woundedness. Quiet yourself internally, and you will be able to hear the answers. The path of the Heraphon on the tree of life is the path that connects Chokmah, wisdom, with Hesed, mercy. It is an energy it's associated with the sign of Taurus. It is a path of wisdom. The Hierophant, the Pope, the High Priest in some decks all symbolize a person or an individual that has studied and been disciplined in the study. 5 is the number of freedom, but it needs to be freedom based on responsibility and an ability to build a foundation. And that foundation is the wisdom that the Hierophant holds. And then the 5, that extra digit, is our ability to act on the wisdom. And the wisdom is heard through the sense of the still small voice within. The still small voice within. And now the Lovers. Number 6, Gemini. Okay, so there's a Gemini energy to January, as January 2021, as the Lovers is the card. The Lovers is a card of choice, an important choice between 2 desires. I spoke of the desire for physical money and riches and greed and that and having that be your God, or the choice to move to the higher levels. And the thing is, with the higher levels, you will have as much abundance as you need. There's no sense of lack when you work from the higher levels. It is that immersion into the lower earthly plane, really, that influences us in such a way that we can forget that we have a higher connection. And so it's important through this whole year, as a 5 year, that the answers are going to come from in here. But in order to do that, you have to be quiet. Okay? Without separation, there can be no connection or demonstration of, I think that's supposed to say life, not live. You are attached to that and you wish to merge. So the energy of the lovers is one of merging. The key to a lasting relationship is to know you are simultaneously united and separated. It reminds me of the poem by Kahlil Gibran. Let me see if I can find it, because I think that this is a perfect time to do that. I do have the book, but I'm going to Google it. Okay, I found it, guys. And this is a poem by Kahlil Gibran. We did this at our wedding. This was one of the little, it was almost like, in church, they read the gospel. We did the one on love, but it wasn't a church thing. We did it out in the garden, which I know a lot of you who watch me every day would not be surprised at that we had a garden wedding. And it was interesting because we called in the 4 directions, we called in the archangels, we did the charge of the goddess, and we also did the Our Father. And we did the gospel reading on love. I think it was, is that Paul? I think Paul's letter to the Corinthians, I think, right? And so we tried to put things in that a lot of people would understand, because my family was Catholic and Michael's family was Catholic for the most part. And so they didn't really have the awareness of the goddess or the archangels or any of that. And so my family was very, very sweet and didn't say anything about how weird it was for them. But I think they were happy for me. I think they saw how much in love we were at the time. I mean, we're still in love, but it's different when you, after 19 years, it's going to be 19 years. This was one of the poems that we read, and it really sums it up so well. It says here, then said Almitra, speak to us of love. And he raised his head and looked upon the people, and there fell a stillness upon them. And with a great voice he said, when love beckons to you, follow him, though his ways are hard and steep. And when his wings unfold you, yield to him, though the sword hidden among his pinions may wound you. And when he speaks to you, believe in him, though his voice may shatter your dreams, as the north wind lays waste to the garden. For even as love crowns you, so shall he crucify you. Even as he is for your growth, so is he for your pruning. Even as he ascends to your height and caresses the tenderest branches that quiver in the sun, so shall he descend to your roots and shake them to their clinging to the earth. Like sheaves of corn, he gathers you onto himself. He threshes you to make you naked. He sifts you to free you from your husks. He grinds you into a whiteness. He kneads you until you are pliant. And then he assigns you to the sacred fire, that you may become sacred bread for God's sacred feast. All these things shall love do unto you, and you may know the secrets of so that you may know the secrets of your heart, and in that knowledge become a fragment of life's heart. But if in your heart you would seek only love's peace and love's pleasure, then it is better for you to cover your nakedness and pass out of love's threshing floor into the seasonless world, while you shall laugh, but not all your laughter. and weep, but not all your tears. Love gives naught but itself, and takes naught but from itself. Love possesses not, nor would it be possessed, for love is sufficient unto love. When you love, you should not say, God is in my heart, but rather, I am in the heart of God. And think not, you can direct the course of love, for love, if it finds you worthy, directs your course. Love has no other desire but to fulfill itself. But if you love and must needs have desires, let these be your desires. To melt and be like a running brook that sings its melody into the night. To know the pain of too much tenderness. To be wounded by your own understanding of love, and to bleed willingly and joyfully. To wake at dawn with a winged heart and give thanks for another day of loving. To return home at eventide with gratitude, and then to sleep with a prayer for the beloved in your heart and a song of praise upon your lips. So that was actually one of the poems. And the other one was, I believe, on marriage. And it has some of the symbology of this lover's card. All right, so isn't that beautiful? Isn't that a beautiful poem? I love that poem. And I got verklempt, so of course, every time I read that poem, I get verklempt. I guess it's not a good poem if it doesn't do that, right? All right, so here we have the lovers. The Hebrew letter associated with this path is Zion. Zion, I think it's Zion, that's how you say it. And it is the sword, the sword. The lovers represent the sword that slashes down through the cosmos, separating the whole of us into discrete form. The sword distributes gender and polarity through the universe, creating the tension of opposites. And aren't we feeling the tension of opposites now? Of course, we've had 4 years of somebody who was a Gemini, with a Gemini, North Node in Gemini, and Uranus in Gemini. And so to a certain extent, he came in to separate us. And then with separation comes merging. And that is the understanding of that, of what it is to be completely merged, and the understanding of what it is to be completely separated. That awareness is what we're experiencing. And the other thing about that is that the North Node is in Gemini, and the North Node is what we're here to, the direction of our destiny, right? The direction of the future. There needs to be an understanding that there is opposite, but there also needs to be an understanding that there is oneness. And without what, you can't have one without the other. Well, I guess you could. You could have oneness without duality. I think seeing everything comes from the oneness. I think that's a tangent we could talk about another day. It says here, it is through the sword of Zion that we know ourselves as individuals and unique. Through Zion, we understand our separation. The fact of split apartness causes us great joy as well as great grief. We know the jubilation and the devastation of having descended into manifestation to be ensouled in a physical body. It is not easy being on planet Earth. Give yourselves a good pat on the back. You were brave enough to be here at this time when we needed everybody's light to bring us to a new level. Very exciting. And in part, that's what January is going to help us do. And the energy, astrologically, which I'll talk about separately, the energy of January is actually Mars-Uranus energy with a touch of Pluto and Jupiter. But it's Mars-Uranus that is the energy that is, and this is acting on revelation. It could also be acting to create chaos. And so you have to focus your intention on what you want to create. Do you want to create chaos? Or do you want to create moving forward in a more equal and equitable direction? We're not, 2020 will be over very shortly as I do this. It is the 31st of December. But to a certain extent, all of 2020, I think, on some level, has brought us to the point of January 2021. That's how important I think January 2021 is. So, and how transformational it's going to be. The question is, what do you want your life to look like? And that's what you need to focus on. Just a sidebar, I think it's interesting. I was watching Bernie Sanders and my senator, Ed Markey, who I love, Ed Mackey, I love him. They were doing the Senate thing, the Senate thing. I know there's a technical term, but and they were speaking with such passion and like truly from their heart. And I thought, there's the message. There's the message. Will we get there? Will they do it? But the message is out. Bernie Sanders and perhaps Markey has been talking about that their whole career, but no one was listening. People are listening now. People are listening. A new age is opening for us. And so those positive, inspirational things are the things that are going to guide us. And so as they do their work, you do your work, right? You shine your light. Okay. So here are some pictures of the lovers. We have, with the first lovers card you saw, of course, was the Rider-Waite. This one is from the Thoth deck. She's got a lot of symbolism, very interesting. And this is from the Wildwood Tarot. And there's symbology here for both. See, these people are united, of course, but they're also separated, right? And then between them is the tree of life and what looks like the serpent of life. It's a ribbon, but I think it's symbolic of the Kundalini, right? The Kundalini rising. And in this one, and the Thoth deck is a very, it's very mental, except for the lust card, which isn't, and the devil card, which aren't. But a lot of the Thoth is very, very, very mental energy, and can be, it can be harsh because of that air vibration. But as we see here with the lovers, we have a king and a queen. One is dark and one is light. And we have the children, one is dark, one is light. We have the eagle, which is symbolic of Scorpio. We have the lion, which of course is Leo. So both Leo and Scorpio are very passionate, signs. And we have this angel, or it looks like a high priest or some sort of magician. You can't see his face. Could this be God? Could these people be marionettes, right? And he is pulling their strings. And then we have the man and the woman here. Then we have Cupid, or pointing his arrow. It is, it's almost as if, and Cupid being on this guy's head, it's almost as if the choice of who to love, points you in the direction of your life, or what to love points you in the direction of your life, right? Do you love money? Do you love a person? Do you love your children? It points you in a direction. I like that. All right, so those are two cards, and this is sort of the energy that we're talking about. So here's Zion. This is the Hebrew letter Zion, and this is the tree of life. This is where the lovers sit on the tree of life between Binah and Tiphereth. Now, what's interesting is the one of January sits here between Kether, the crown, creation, Neptune, and Binah, which is associated with Saturn, is associated with the divine feminine, is associated with creating the future. This pillar is the pillar of the future. And so our future is created here in Binah. And then it's Binah and Tiphereth, which is beauty. Beauty. It is the core of all things. It's where everything comes together. See this six-pointed, it's like the six-pointed star, right? Which is what the lovers is about. It's about the feminine and the masculine uniting, separating, and uniting, and separating, and uniting, right? It's an engine of evolution, or an engine of life, perhaps. It's an engine of life. Okay, so says the path of Zion is the path that mediates between Binah, understanding, and Tiphereth, beauty, called the separating or disposing intelligent. In order to join, separation must first be acknowledged. So how would we ever understand the beauty of the beauty of oneness unless we have something to compare it to, right? The pain of separation. A lot of people right now are in a lot of pain. And it's a necessary thing. This is a necessary experience. We have to let go of our pain bodies. We have to let go of the need to hold on to our pain. Let it go. Let it go. You don't need it anymore. You don't need it for protection. Just like you don't need being overweight for protection. You can let it all go because it's safe to move on. It's safe for those of us who have had to hide our light because it was too painful to expose it. We can let all of that go. We can show people our true selves. In fact, not only can we, but to a certain extent we have to, or must, or would love to, or am here to do, right? This is what we are here to do and be and have and love and want and need and desire. Have to. All the levels. Oh, I need to get back. I clicked on too soon and I had to go back. And instead of showing you the whole thing of how do I go back, because then I get confused, I paused. Okay, so this path connects the pillar of the future with the pillar of the present moment. And so this is especially important because we do create within the moment. That really is the only place of power for creation. But what are we creating? We are creating the future. We are putting our intention out to impregnate the very highly energetic, morphogenic field that surrounds us. I think January is going to be that real push to get us through to the other side of this very painful birth canal that we've been going through collectively. Okay. This is connecting the divine feminine, which is in Baina or Baina, with the divine sun principle, Tiphareth. The Tiphareth, in the center of the tree, that's where all the knights of the tarot sit, the suns. And so it's that energy. It's the energy of being the element, of feeling if you're a cup, or doing if you're an air, or being creative or being inspired if you're fire, or being practical and methodical and grounded if you're earth. This path connects both of those. This path is associated with the sign of Gemini. So we know that Gemini is going to be very prominent in what is in Gemini, but the north node of the moon is in Gemini. And the north node of the moon in January, as we move into January, is in a grand mutable square with a Neptune and Vesta. Neptune in Pisces, Vesta in Virgo. And it creates a doorway, really, a portal, and it's mutable. So it's easier to let go. So while, I say these things about letting go and getting to the other side of things, and we don't need the pain body, and we don't need the fat body, and we don't need any of those bodies, because we are going to be in our element. In our element is all, coming to a head. All right, let's see what else. Oops, yeah, I can't move it forward. Okay. So when we look at this path, and this is the path right here. This is Tiphareth, this is Baina, this is the path of the lovers, Gemini, the sixth vibration right here. And it connects the third eye with the heart. And so it has to do with your vision and your heart. And the vision must come from the core of who you are. The core of who you are. And as I say that, I think about 4 years of Trump. And his shadow he has a shadow in his third eye. So, and it's a 1. So he doesn't see how anything he does affects anybody else. And it comes from such a egocentric place. But his soul in his chart is a 16-7, which is located right here in the solar plexus. So he is, in a way, all solar plexus energy with no vision except his own very narrow vision. And so he becomes the figure that we can look to and say, this is somebody who just does not allow themselves the love that people feel for him. And his, there was a point where he had that love from many more people than he has now, but still, how empty that is. That's another lesson perhaps he's teaching us. So it really is about, seeing things, thinking with the heart and feeling with the mind. Thinking with the heart and feeling with the mind. That coming together, that's from separation, right? Our feelings, our mind, and this sort of bridges the gap. Okay. So let's just look at these two chakras. Aren't these beautiful pictures? I love these. I wish I could give you the artist's name. I don't know the artist's name, but they're so beautiful. This one on the left here is the third eye chakra, and we have the heart chakra here. Okay. So the third eye chakra, Anja, means to perceive and command. Who knew that, right? To perceive and command. You know the perceive part, but did you know the command part? You can open that if you want. The color, sorry, my husband was leaving the office very slowly. The color is indigo, and the element is light. Purpose, pattern recognition. Pattern recognition. If you have one of your major numbers in Baina or in Hokmah, well, no, in Baina actually. In Baina and Hokmah, you're very psychic because it's the third eye. But if it's in Baina, there is this ability to see how things are structured. Like there's a real sense of being able to almost think in 3 dimensions. Pattern recognition. The identity is archetypical. I don't think you say it archetypical. I don't ever say that right. So unless I said it right, but I don't think I said it right. And the orientation is self-reflection. Self-reflection. Being a mirror to each other. Each person mirroring each other's soul. And I take that, I take that phrase from Shri and Kira, so I just want to give them props. They're talking about soul mirrors. I haven't listened to it, but I think I'm feeling, of course, I don't know, maybe that's not what they're talking about, but I'm pretty sure that would be what they're talking about. The demon here is illusion. Is illusion. We can delude ourselves. We can see things that that aren't there. That's something that we need to be, or we only see the good. We don't see the bad, right? So that delusional quality. I think we all are a little bit deluded, right? Even those of us on the left, believing that, love is the answer, it is. It definitely is, but, some people believe it more than others. Okay. And the heart chakra, anahata, meaning unstruck. The color, of course, is green. The element is air. So this is light and air. Very interesting. Purpose is love and balance. And we can see the 6-pointed star right in the middle, right? The 6-pointed star of the 6, right? The 3 and 3. The identity is social. Where do I fit in? The group. where, you know, we meld in the group through liking each other, you know, that's how you come together. So this is how we find, and sometimes we get our heart broken, and that's another side of this, but it's all in service to expanding the heart. Orientation, self-acceptance, and acceptance of others. And I like the fact that self-acceptance comes first, because you're not truly accepting until you accept yourself. And then all the energy and love and abundance flows in your direction, because you stop judging, and it's like taking a it's almost like if there's a, you know, like something that holds water back between one side of the pipe and the other, and then you take it away, and then it gets to flow. That has been taken away, or we have the opportunity for that to be taken away. Okay, so that's it. This is for the astrology, but we're not doing that until tomorrow. All right, let me stop the share, and I can sit and talk to you. So this was very interesting. As I was doing it, I got some enlightenments myself, looking at what's going on. Interesting. The other interesting thing about January is that, and all this Gemini energy, Bernie Sanders' Jupiter is in Gemini. It is square his nodes, which makes it a very high profile planet in his chart. He has Jupiter square the nodes is, what do you believe to be true? And in order for him to come to a place, that deep place of compassion that he had to, and not just compassion and feeling the pain, but to be able to apply practical solutions for people's pain. His North Node is in Virgo. He is a Virgo. He's got Neptune in Virgo, all up there well, we don't really know what time he was born, but what the chart most people use, that's up in his 10th house. You know, Medicare for all. I mean, it's right there. It's amazing. But the fact that this is such an important Gemini energy, even though the sun's in Capricorn and then Aquarius, there's just such a Gemini energy to this through the connection with the tree of life. So, you know, so this is his philosophy based on his own like soul's journey through this, and his understanding. The North Node is conjunct Bernie Sanders' Jupiter now, right now, and into January. And so he becomes it's almost like everything he's been saying for all these years, he finally gets a megaphone to say it, and he says it, and there's been this like supercharging of the field, because we just went into Aquarius. Right now we're up in the firmament, goodness sakes. So the things that come out and the things that are said have more import than they've ever had before, because people are ready to hear it. We've created the situation of being so helpless that we finally ask for help. That's the situation we've put ourselves in, and necessary situation. We're ready to love, people. We're ready to love. This is great. This is great. It's great stuff. So excited, really. I'm so excited. It's just a couple more hours for me, right? Since what time is it? It's almost 6 o'clock. 6 more hours of 2020. Funny. Boy, it's been quite a ride, hasn't it, guys? All right, so I think I'm going to let you go with that. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I will be doing the astrology. It may take a day or two, so it might be, if it's not out tomorrow, which is my goal, you know, set a goal, but it may actually come out on the 2nd. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. I think you'll enjoy it. Lots of stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff to talk about. Okay, much love, guys. Thank you for all your generosity, for, I don't know, you've given me as much or perhaps more than I give you. So thank you very much. You've been a real blessing for me. All right. See you soon. Bye.